Paul, thanks for coming. I did see your website, but I really wanted you to give your introduction. The one thing that caught my eye was probably very late in your career, you decided to open this company. So tell us about yourself, how you landed up here. I know you have a lot of experience, ton of experience. Share with us, our audience. Who are you?
Sure, and thank you, Nish. Um, yes, I guess I received a fair bit of attention because I launched the company rather late in my career, um, 66 years old to be specific, um, and that was the result of losing my last formal employment. I'd always worked for others. Uh, More or less always working in the consumer packaged goods area, from a packaging and manufacturing and supply chain perspective. Um, that was the first time I'd ever uh, lost a job in that industry. Um, it wasn't. It was a bit of a surprise, not a huge surprise, but it's always a bit of a surprise when it's not on your terms. But looking back, it turned out to be the proverbial blessing in disguise. And I bounced around for a couple of years. I did some consulting and tried to really focus on what I wanted to do next. I certainly didn't want to work for anyone again, nor did I think I was very employable at 66 years old. Um, and starting something on my own had always been a sort of a interest in the back, but I never
Mhm.
quite had the guts to do
Right.
it. This termination gave me the guts to do it. And that's when I launched this business. Molded fiber has been around for decades, of course, famously as the manufacturing process for egg cartons. That's how most
Yeah.
people,
Yes.
that's how I think
Yeah.
what most
That's
people
how I relate.
associate
Yeah.
molded fiber.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
In fact, pretty much every country on the planet has, some connection to molded fiber egg cartons because eggs are eaten around the world.
Yes.
Um, but I really wanted to bring the technology, the process, uh, the sustainability of molded fiber uh, to more premium kinds of products, and
Hmm.
that's where our company sits. We use molded fiber, but we use it for a more premium level of product, and um, we don't have our own manufacturing facilities. We outsource our manufacturing. There are
Hmm.
countless companies around the world eager to partner and produce your goods, and that was much of the work that I did before I started this was about
Contract
outsourcing.
manufacturing. Right.
So I was intimately familiar with many of the opportunities that we had. But we because we outsource, um, doing commodity type packaging, keeping inventories, that wasn't for us. It's strictly custom packaging for customers looking for a particular
Custom
package.
orders. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And we seem to have found our niche with smaller volumes. Um, Larger manufacturers are not really eager to do small volumes. They want long runs, no interruptions. And we're happy to do shorter runs, as are our manufacturing partners. And as such, we've developed relationships with, you know, countless companies around the world. I think we've engaged with over 400 customers in the 15 years that we've been in business. Um, Many of them ever so briefly, but nevertheless, many of them the largest companies in the world. So it's good to get on their radar screen, even if it's for a small project. And so I think it's been a good niche for us, and that's where we stand today. We have several manufacturing partners in different parts of the world. including one here in the U.S.
Mhm.
And I think for the first time, we've also got government regulations um,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
at our back now
Yeah.
instead of in our
Mhm.
face. With
For a change.
with EPR coming
EPR.
on board in California and Oregon, it's been a real blessing for us. And
8 states and
uh,
counting, I believe.
I think 7 or 8, yes. So we're really encouraged about that. Um, and I think the future looks pretty rosy, quite frankly.
Right. 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 Absolutely. Thanks for the introduction. It
You're welcome.
reminds me of the KFC story. Almost similar.
Oh,
Not
the,
right. I mean,
the
he started
Colonel
KFC. Yes,
Sanders, yeah.
Colonel Sanders started in, I think, late 50s or early
Was that
60s.
true, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe so. That's what
Yeah.
I might be mistaken, but reminds me of that story. You touched upon a lot of different things. Um, I did see you probably also did packaging for mobile phone for Amazon. Is that?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's the type of thing that you're doing for premium packaging. Now you mentioned a bunch of different things, and let's jump into the cost pressures since
Sure.
you talking about how you outsource, and most of it is outside of the US, except for one, I believe you said.
Right.
So tell me the impact of freight costs, oil costs. Tell me the impact of uh, tariffs, which are been struck down but not struck down. But there's a constant variable that they may just come back in a different form. And then
Right.
also talk to me about um, do you use petrochemicals at all in your packaging, or is it just all recyclable? So, and if you do use petrochemicals, talk to me about the impact of this Iran war.
Right. No, no petrochemicals at all. It's all waste, paper waste, but principally sugarcane waste, sugarcane and bamboo.
Oh, wow.
And that gives a much more premium look also than paper. Um, so yes, no petrochemicals. That's completely in opposition to our whole reason for being.
Right.
Um, the cost, the and when we bring AI into this subject, by the way, I mean I'm hugely excited about it and what it has done and can do for our business. I realize it's not so problem free for many people, but in our particular case, it has been an enormous benefit. Um, Primarily because um, when we're trying to persuade, and I can't emphasize that too much, it's still an uphill battle, despite the EPR regulations, et cetera. It's still an uphill battle to get large companies to put aside their plastic packaging, and that's typically what we are trying to trying to replace. It's plastic packaging, disposable
Mhm, mhm,
plastic. Completely uphill battle to get them to consider something that is typically somewhat costlier.
mhm.
Might be, just
Teeny weeny.
a nano
Mhm,
cent costlier,
mhm,
but it's still somewhat
mhm,
costlier than plastic packaging, which has had
mhm,
a
mhm.
basically a 60-year head start on us.
And economies of
Um,
scale. Yeah.
um, Particularly people with, and I don't want to be unkind, but folks that are really looking at this from a very narrow perspective. They look at our package, they look at their plastic package. Theirs is 5 cents, ours is 6 cents. Sorry, it's just out of our. But that's not the way to look at this. I mean, it's refreshing and all too rare, unfortunately, when we get a customer that is looking at the entire picture. Just what happens when they replace their plastic packaging up and down the company? What happens in terms of logistics, in terms of even as it even as it impacts their human resources. Employees like to work for companies that have a mission, that
Hmm.
have a goal, and turnover is far less when that happens. So
Hmm.
even in the HR area, making a change from plastic to sustainable materials is a positive move. And now with the implementation of AI across the board, companies can do that. They can examine their entire structure, not just one package versus another. They can look at this thing from all different perspectives and see that actually the bottom line is a savings for them. I know they've been teaching this in business schools and in sustainability programs at universities. They've been teaching about sustainable business and how it's a benefit. But I, I hate to be skeptical, but I think it's still kind of stuck in academia until people really begin to practice that when they take it to their roles at companies. But we're encouraged about that. We don't have to pound that story home and meet with a skeptical reaction to it. It's a good story. It's an accurate story. There's savings in sustainability.
Hmm.
Um, you asked about freight. Yes, we do use overseas partners for some of our manufacturing. And again, you really have to look at the details of the freight. Niche, we used to be able to land. I say used to. I mean, we haven't had to make that comparison recently. But we used to be able to land products from our manufacturing partner on the east coast of China to the west coast of the U.S. Long Beach,
Hmm.
et cetera. We
Yep.
could
Hmm.
land it there cheaper than someone who is based in Long Beach and shipping their product to New York.
Oh my God.
I
Oh
mean,
wow.
it's a longer trip, but it's an oceanic trip. It's not over the road. I mean, there's a lot of comparisons that need to be made. Now, that's not always the comparison, of course, but I'm using that as a dramatic example that you
Hmm.
can get product from China to California often cheaper than you can get product from California to New York or vice versa. But, not everyone, it's not as black and white
That's
as that.
counterintuitive.
Um, anyway, I like to use that example because it is, somewhat telling. But just another reason to look at the entire picture and to look at the details and not make gross assumptions about one thing being more costly than another. So
Gotcha.
anyway,
When you quote, do you quote landed, or is the freight a customer's responsibility, or it really varies based on the contract?
um, the freight is always the customer's responsibility.
Okay.
Um, the sometimes um, sometimes we do quote a landed cost. Sometimes we quote it out and it's looked at as a separate component, but it is
Hmm.
the customer's responsibility. So they are concerned about the freight.
Hmm.
And we always get a relatively accurate estimate from forwarders or from our
Brokers.
partners,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
give them
Hmm.
something substantial to compare, et cetera.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You said a very important and striking thing, that um, obviously employees love to work with companies that have a mission, and especially the ones that have environmental mission in mind. The
Right.
company that comes to my mind is, not sure if you heard of Interface. Have you heard of Interface?
The
It's a
carpeting,
oh, yes, yes,
oh,
yes.
yes, yes, a classic example. Yes.
Right. The reason why I know is because my wife is trying to get an interview there.
Yeah.
A separate story. But yes, I mean, you look at their website, you look at the products, they do seem and feel premium. That's what you want for your
Right.
brand as well, right? It's about that. And when you do look at per unit cost, obviously it's just a cent, but obviously when you add up, that blows up for bigger companies.
Right.
Um, so do you think? A few questions. Do you think uh, you can only win if you have regulations that prohibit single-use plastics, like Canada did by phasing out plastic bags? Or do you think there's another way, maybe there's an AI way to explain to your customers what's that end net benefit to them? Which
Yes.
approach would you
Yeah.
take? What do you think about these?
Well, first of all, I don't think we have to choose among them. I mean, EPR is here finally, but we've been in business for 14 years before EPR, and we managed to survive. We just expect EPR to give us a jolt forward, of course.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, yeah, no, I think AI will and is highly beneficial to us being able to tell a persuasive story to our customers now. Um, but before it was tough. They made the comparison item versus item, and you know dared us to explain how that wasn't true, how we could be better, and it was tough to persuade them. We didn't have the data to persuade them. Now the data is available,
mhm,
and we can use AI to tell a much better story, a much more convincing story. Yeah, I'm thrilled about it. I worry that I might become a little too addicted to Claude, but I'm really thrilled about having this opportunity after so many years.
right.
So I've embraced it fully. Um, and the but you did say, oh, I wanted to address your reference to interface. You know, uh, they're a magnificent example, but sadly, people have been using interface as an example, or Patagonia for decades. Where are the other interfaces and Patagonias? I mean,
In
they're out
Europe,
there, of course.
they're in
Yes, they're
Europe.
in Europe. They are out there. But but to your remark about Europe, Unilever, a European company, was remarkable among large, Fortune 100 companies for their approach to sustainability. But even they backpedaled dramatically when, as far back as the first Trump administration, when it became clear that sustainability um, and all of the other uh, quote progressive programs were not very popular anymore. And but even Unilever backpedaled, which was really sad to see. I think Paul
Was
Pullman
that
was.
was that only in the US or everywhere in the world, or just in the US?
That's a good question. I don't know how sweeping it was.
Mhm,
It
mhm,
may have been only in the U.S. because
mhm.
there's no need for them to pull back in Europe at all. And
I mean, yeah,
I hope that they
yeah,
haven't. But yes, you're right. European companies have been and are still, you know, decades ahead of us,
right.
in their sophistication and approach to sustainability.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, yeah.
That's great. It's a good segue into our last segment. I know we only have 7 minutes, and I'm really appreciative of
Ah,
your time.
no,
We are
not at
having
all.
an
My pleasure.
interesting discussion. Maybe I'll call you for another interview some other day.
Yes.
I keep doing these. So you spoke about AI and how you've adopted AI, and you also spoke about the data that's available for your customers to see and do the analysis and then see for themselves, yes, it is indeed the way to go. So talk to us about what kind of data um, do usually customers want to see, and how is AI helping analyze that data? One, how is AI helping in your company bringing your operational costs down? Two questions.
Right. Well, it's the latter that I can address more fully because I can only, as the expression goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. So
Uh-huh.
I've got to, I've got to hope, trust, expect that our customers will utilize AI more fully, especially when they're comparing our product to something that they're using made from petrochemicals. I can't always be sure they're going to do that. They may just
Mhm.
dismiss us, as they always have, as being too costly. But we can use it, and we can use it for opportunities within our business. For instance, um, we don't employ any package designers per se. I mean, folks who are credentialed package designers. They're very talented and very expensive employees, even on a contractual basis. Um, but we've used package designers to help us create packages for our customers or potential
Customers.
customers. It's not always necessary. Sometimes our customers do a marvelous job of showing us what they'd like,
Mhm.
but um, we've been able to use AI to create our own package designs now, and not only our own package designs, but our own package designs literally in minutes if we use the
Oh,
right
wow.
prompts to get us there. It's been an amazing blessing, where we can have a conversation with a customer, and during that same day turn around and give them some ideas about how we would approach this.
Right.
We used to have to wait days, if not, a week or two, to be able to do that when we use
Hmm.
outside resources. So
Of course.
that's
Yeah.
that that's been one of the ways.
Hmm.
Analyzing, although we don't focus on freight. I mean, our focus is on package and package design. But freight's a major component of the
Hmm.
costs our customers
Hmm.
incur.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we've kind of embraced freight more fully now that we have access to freight rates all over the world. We
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
compare rates, et cetera,
Hmm.
and work with the right forwarders and provide our customers with the best and most economical way to get their packages from point A to point B.
Hmm.
Um, and Even shocked as I was, working with Amazon, I mean, it's hard to find a larger company. I assumed, they had a logistics department that filled a building. They were happy to let us arrange their logistics, which I found shocking.
Shocking.
How,
Of course. Yeah. I mean, they can get a pack.
absolutely,
They can get a parcel out for $4 anywhere in the US.
yeah.
How come? How
Well,
come?
I'm talking about,
Yeah,
larger
you're
than a
talking about the
parcel,
freight.
but
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
I'm just drawing
But
comparisons.
I thought it was uh, if it wasn't extremely flattering that they left that in our hands, then it was extremely foolish. So, but yes, we've been able to arrange the freight for our goods, shipping back to Amazon, through their warehouses, et cetera,
Mhm.
or their
Mhm.
partners' warehouses, I
Right.
should say.
Mhm.
So that's been marvelous as well. Um, I think we've just begun on this journey of making our business more efficient, faster, better, clearer, all through the use of AI. There's hardly a project that comes up where we don't examine it through AI to find out more about what we should be doing and what we should be aware of. And EPR will be a major focus for us, and
Mhm.
is already a
Mhm.
project that we're doing
Mhm. Mhm.
through AI. And
Mhm.
um, it's as I said, it's really been a blessing for us. So I feel for everyone who isn't able to say that because they're losing their job or can't find a job, all because of AI. I know
Of
that's a
course.
very real fear.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You just gotta have people have to reskill. It's just like a calculator in your hand. Right. You just
Yeah,
have to learn AI and you'll be
yeah,
fine. That's what I always
yeah.
say. Um, One last question, and I wish we had more time, but two questions actually, and then we'll end. do you use an ERP? Which ERP do you use? Do you use AI within the ERP or in conjunction with ERP system or not?
Not.
And
We do not. We do not. Um, we are
you do
still a
not have an ERP?
relative. No,
Okay.
we are still a relatively small business, and we're able to manage that without an
In
ERP.
Excel
So
files and yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, exactly.
yeah. And one last question. Operationally, how many employees do you have?
Operationally, we only have 2 employees. Everyone else that we use is a contract, temporary, per diem,
Yeah,
um, and everyone, literally everyone, including, of course, and most of all, our manufacturing partners themselves. So
right,
that was by design, and no regrets there at all. It just
right.
felt like the leanest, um, easiest way to run the business. It may not be the
Of
most
course.
cost
It's the
effective,
most it's the
but I,
most AI way.
yes,
It's the most
yes,
AI way.
yes.
Right, right.
And I used to make apologies for that when talking to people about the business. And over the years, I've learned, not to apologize. That a lot of folks that would examine you, as a potential purchase target, et cetera, don't like to be saddled with a lot of headcount, brick and
Yeah,
mortar.
yeah.
And they said, if being acquired is a goal of yours, you've gone about your business the right way to
Right
get
way. Most efficient
the
way. Yeah,
attention. Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
not a goal of ours, but
yeah,
we
yeah.
did it because it felt right for us. So
Of course.